Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomat YouTube channel. You got your boys here, Lanny and Bert, the Diplomat. We're going to talk to you today about the three big reasons why SCHD is underperforming right now.
Oh, baby, guys, hit that subscribe button. Give that smash to the thumbs up. Like the video here, guys. SCHD, why do they continue to perform since that reconstitution back in the spring? Bert, they do this every year, and this is going to be a fun recap when we see what did they move out of? What did they get more concentration of? And how are those stocks and industries actually doing here as of the close of August 15th, 2025?
That's right. And we got to get a couple things out of the way here. We both like SCHD. We both invest regularly in SCHD. So we're not
Mhm.
coming at this from a position of we hate SCHD.
And you guys remember, Bert and his wife have over 2,000 shares, producing well over $2,000 in annual passive income.
Yeah. So it's not like we're sitting here like, hey, like we hate this. Lanny started buying it regularly too. And it's not like we want SCHD to fail. It's a fantastic fund. It's got a great yield. It's got a great growth rate. But
It's too big to fail.
I mean, apparently with the dividend investing community, but it's really hard to deny that SCHD is not performing well from an appreciation standpoint. We
Mhm.
understand it. You don't buy it to appreciate. Like we get that. That's part of the game here. But at a certain point, you have to take a look at the fund and just say, what is going on with the fund and why can't they seem to get out of the mud and get some appreciation like some of these other ETFs?
Get out of the mud, get out of their own way. So they've kind of, again, SCHD, quick background, dividend investors love the ETF, still has some consistent, significant dividend growth comparative to the industry. In the past, they used to, up till about 2.5 years ago, really kick, in terms of return on share price appreciation, they really hung with the S&P 500. Obviously, have extremely lagged that, and I have to say it, but have lagged as of recent times, even Vanguard's high dividend yield ETF,
For sure.
VYM. But they do this reconstitution. They did it again back in, is it March or is it technically April?
March. They do it in March. And this year, the first day of trading under the new plan was March 21st. So a lot of our dates we're going to pull are going to say, how have they been doing since March 21st? You can't look at SCHD on a year to date basis because some of those holdings might not have been there all of 2020.
Okay, so we're going to go into the top 10 holdings too, guys, and really look at where they were and where they are now. But Bert, what did they do? What, from a high level, what industries did they shift away from and go into?
Yeah, it was actually really interesting. They moved away from financials.
Mm-hmm.
They moved into energy. They increased some allocations in pharma.
Gotcha. Okay,
So,
so they moved away, and
yeah.
then they moved into really some energy in the discretionary
So let's
area.
go into that because that can be reason number one for why SDHD is underperforming here. Financials have been one of the best performing sectors over the last 3 months, and they've been performing very well lately. Energy, not so much. Energy is a sector that's lagging. So you have SCHD that moved from financials. They sold a lot of those big financial holdings, Landy, and those are the stocks that are booming right now. As you'll see at a later point when you talk about the deletions, they lost some of the biggest winners in the financial space too. We'll get into that more. They
Hmm.
moved into energy, who is just lagging right now. Energy cannot catch a break from a sector performance
In
standpoint.
the words of NBA Jam, can I buy a bucket? Is it the shoes?
Yeah.
So
Definitely not heating up. That's for
yeah,
sure.
he's on fire.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
that's the big reason why. Sorry, you were going to say something.
no, but we start looking at these top 10. Again, their biggest holding right now is Chevron, guys. Ticker
Yeah.
symbol CVX, one of the best oil stocks, though, with an over 4% allocation. They've pretty much traded sideways, flat.
Yeah. And that's reason too. Their top 10 is mixed. Like their top 10 is not firing on all cylinders. Their number two stock is Pepsi. We all know the Pepsi story right now. They bought Pepsi before the big drop. They didn't go into Pepsi when it was at 120s. So it's only up 2.31%.
Why, Schwab? You should have talked to Bert and I. We would have
Yeah.
told you when to start smash buying.
That's right. ConocoPhillips is number three, another energy, down 6%.
Oh.
They have some hits though. Number 4 is Altria, who's up 13%.
Amazing that they're up that much.
I know it's crazy. AbbVie's number 5, down 2%. 6, Cisco, up 10%. Home Depot, number 7, up 13%. Merck, down 11%. Texas Instruments, up 9% after a big pullback. Amgen, down 6.7 cents. That's their top 10, Lanny.
Yeah, some stocks in pharma have had a rough go the last 5 months. Some of the bigger names that have really been on fire are finally cooling down and pulling back, such as Merck and Amgen.
Yeah, so that's where you're just not seeing strong growth in their top 10 that's carrying them. It makes up 41% of the funds too. So that's why the top 10 is so important for SCHD. It is such a top heavy fund. When you take the weighted average of all these performances from March 21st through August 15th, the date of the reconstitution through Friday, last closing date, the weighted average performance of the top 10 Lenny is only up 2%. So that's who's leading the pack right now for SCHD.
Oof, 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 oof. So
It's hard to recover when your top 10 are just kind of muddling along.
gotcha. Now, what else do we want to try to take a look at when we're looking at why SCHD is underperforming right now?
All right, so let's talk about this reconstitution. So what happened is they rebalanced the fund. No individual stocks over 4%. They might boot some companies and add some new ones in. And this is the most shocking of the points. And this is where it got pretty painful here, Manny. Because
These charts.
yeah, they have a huge chart, but we're going to focus on the ones that were at least 1% of SCHD's total holdings. So there were 5 additions performing, and then there were 4 deletions that all hit that 1% threshold at the time of the reconstitution. And Lanny, it is painful when you look at it. The additions. We already talked about how ConocoPhillips is lagging. We already talked about how Merck is lagging. Those were their top 2 ones. Then you had another energy, Schlumberger, down 20%. I had a long dance with this company. I got rid of, I think it was like 8 years ago. Number 4, Lanny, just you tell the people about the 4th biggest addition here on this list, because
Target or Target, and their best least performer right now at down 1% since they added Target.
yeah, General Mills is the number 5th one, and that was 1.3% of the fund. So look, every one of those companies is down, and those were their 5 largest additions to the fund this year.
Oof, yeah. So, and then when you look at what they deleted, this is where the sad moments happen. Except for the first one, Pfizer. They exited Pfizer. It was 4% of their portfolio. They're actually down 3.79%. Go ahead.
Yeah, but they're down less than Merck, who they added in there. So Pfizer's performing better than Merck by 7%.
Fair. But then when you think of one of the biggest asset management firms who's been now more prevalent than ever with Bitcoin is BlackRock, BLK. And they're actually up 20% since they exited BlackRock.
Yeah. Number 3 is US Bank, who's up 8.45% since that exit. And M&T Bank, 8%. They're up.
Baby.
So financials, again, they pivoted out of financials at the worst time when the financials have been crushing it since that reconstitution happened. It is so painful to watch. Right?
Very painful to see, guys. So there's SCHD again. If you actually look at SCHD's performance, again, they are actually over $27 per share. So the last month, they're up 0.7%. The last 6 months that they're down over 2%, and they're flat so far this year, while everything else I feel like is up right now, and they're down since last year as well.
Look, this isn't all doom and gloom on SCHD. We're not saying the sky is falling. We're not saying we're liquidating.
But we're saying the clouds are getting full.
Yeah, what we're saying is you got to pay attention to what's actually happening with SCHD. Let's hope there's a lot of time for this reconstitution to turn itself around. There's a lot of time for good news in pharmaceuticals. There's a lot of good time for good news with energy. But right now, it's looking like the sectors they pivoted into are just struggling compared to the ones they pivoted away from.
And I'm a huge believer in everything's cyclical at this point. And, every industry usually has their booms and busts. So maybe energy, this is, they're going through the bust cycle and they're getting ready for the next boom.
Yeah.
maybe the consumer discretionary, maybe Target has been such a bust that they're going to go through another boom like they have had done so in the past. So,
And,
again, pharmaceutical, maybe they're going through a bust right now, but hey, there's going to be a big boom breakthrough once they get this healthcare figured out.
in the positive spin, this could be a good time to buy an undervalued ETF that has a strong dividend and a strong dividend growth history. That's the positive way to look at it, and that's just as
Now,
much on the table too.
let us know if you guys are still buying SCHD. Are you still a holder? Or do you enjoy what SCHD does with the reconstitution? Do you think management of the fund should change their plans? Do you think it's the best for shareholders?
Let us know, everybody. Remember, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and remember, you're either with us or you're against us, Jack.
That was Bertha Hurt and Lanny from the gosh darn Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.